truly are, who you were made to be, who you are sincerely on the inside. You show up in the world that way, authentically. So now that we know what authentic means, why do I care to talk to you guys about living an authentic life? Why is that such a big deal? So I want to let you know that throughout the talk, I'm going to be giving you guys little nuggets of information. And if you forget anything that I say, I want you to remember these nuggets of information. And you'll know that you're getting a little nugget because I'm going to say message, and that means remember, okay? So first nugget, message. Each one of us was created with a purpose. And our purpose is to give back to the world. So, in order to give back to the world, you have to live authentically. Each one of us was created with something special, something very unique. Each one of us was created so special and so authentically that we were given a gift or a talent. And it is up to you to know what your talent is so you can use it and give it back to the world. So that's why we're here. Have any of you guys ever thought about it like that? Okay, yes, very good. So I want you to picture a big puzzle piece, right? And every single puzzle piece is a person, one of you. And in the world, there will be a missing puzzle piece unless you decide to live authentically and you decide to use your gifts and your talents in order to give back to the world. What I'm trying to say is that the world needs you to be who you really are, to be who you were meant to be. So that is why it is so important for you to live authentically, so you can acknowledge your talents and your gifts and step into the person that you were meant to become. Have you guys ever heard that saying, if you don't use it, you will lose it? You have to use your talents and your gifts, or else you will lose them. So, if living an authentic life is so important and so critical because it helps us become part of the grander scheme of things, which is the world, then why don't all of us do it? Why don't all of us choose to live authentically? Well, message, living authentic is a choice. You have to choose to live authentically each and every single day of your life. So I want to tell you guys something. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to be authentic and bam, here I am, authentic living. It doesn't just start with one choice. Living authentically is a process. It takes time. Your day is filled with choices and decisions that you have to make, right? So every day throughout the day, you have to choose to live authentically. And the more that you choose to live authentically, you will realize your path in life. You will realize your purpose and you will step into it. But on the opposite end, if you make choices that take you further and further away from your authentic self, further and further away from your purpose, then you are going to experience a lack of health and wellness, a lack of abundance, a lack of happiness, and a lack of health. And those are things that we do not want. And those are things that I do not want for you. So I want to encourage you to begin choosing to live authentically each and every single day. And the older that we get, the choices that we make are more and more important. So I want to encourage you, it's not too late. We need to start living authentically right now. So with that being said, I want to admit something to you guys. I have not always lived an authentic life. I have not always lived in my purpose. I'm happy to say that I am now, and I live authentically and I live purposefully, and I work every single day to do that. So I strongly believe that it is my purpose to coach and help and empower people to live authentically, to figure out what their purpose is in life, to discover their power to create the lives that they want. That's what I believe that my purpose is. And if you allow me, I would like for you to tell you a little bit of my story of how I got to where I am today, and how I wasn't living authentically, and now I'm truly living an authentic life, living in my purpose. And I want to share this with you because I would never go back to the way that I was living before. When you realize that you need to start living an authentic life, everything in you is going to make it so undeniable that you need to figure out what that is and how that looks and how you should be living in the world. So, I like to call it my former life. In my former life, prior to living authentically, I worked in the field of human resources. I shared that with a couple of you guys as you walked in today. And I knew that in order to achieve my goal, which my goal was to become an HR director and make a lot of money, that was my goal. That I wanted to get the experience and the education I needed, because that is what I needed in order to climb the corporate ladder and make the amount of money that I want and be an HR director. So that's what I did. I worked super hard to get my master's in HR. I got certified as an HR professional. I got the experience that I needed, and I became the youngest female Latina HR director within my organization. Thank you. So I accomplished my goal, right? I have the status and the title that I always wanted. I'm making good money. I should be happy, right? Now, don't get me wrong, my life wasn't bad. Just because you're not living authentically doesn't mean that your life is not good. But I was not fulfilled because I was not doing purposeful work. I knew that I needed to do more. Everything in me told me that I needed to do more. And I struggled with that because it's like, Lizeth, you're making good money, you chose this life. Be grateful, right? Be happy with what you have. But I wasn't. I started to experience a lack of health, a lack of wellness, a lack of happiness. And it was to the point where I could not deny it anymore because it was starting to show within me, physically and emotionally. So I remember it like it was yesterday. I sat with my mom and I told her first, and it was out in her backyard, and I said, Mom, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna quit. And she looked at me like I was crazy, just like so many other people did when I told them I was gonna quit my job of being an HR director. And she asked me something that truly changed the trajectory of my life. She asked me, Lizeth, if you are not gonna be an HR director, then what is your purpose? And I was at a loss for words because I had never stopped to think about what my purpose was. No one had ever asked me that before, which is why I ask you on that sheet of paper. And I wish in school they taught you to figure out what your purpose is. I wish that they explained to you that it's so critical for you to live an authentic life. So you know what career to follow, so you know what to study in school, but they don't. So from that point forward, I knew I needed to figure it out myself and create my own path. So I turned to my mom and I said, Mom, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. And from that point forward, I had to do some soul searching and some praying, and whatever it is that you believe in, whether it's God, the universe, a higher power, start doing soul searching and ask for guidance, because that's what I did. And it took me, remember, it takes time to live an authentic life. It took me 4 years to be in this place where I finally feel like I am my true self, and I'm living in my purpose, and I'm helping others. So when you choose to live authentically, you are also choosing to live a life that is healthy, that is well, and that is happy. So for those of you guys that need a little bit more than just some motivational encouragement, I want to give you some data and statistics. There was a study done at the University of Ottawa by 2 psychologists, and these psychologists wanted to see if there was any correlation between age, whether you know your purpose, whether you live authentically, and health. So they partnered with the Age of Institute, who funded the research, and they surveyed approximately 6,000 people from all different age ranges, from 20 to 70. And what they found was those individuals that knew what their purpose was or had a higher calling, a sense of belonging to the world, that lived authentically, had 15% less risk of death and diseases that led to death. 15% less than those individuals that did not know their purpose and that felt that they wandered the earth aimlessly because they did not know what their purpose was and they weren't living authentically. And they also followed up with those people 14 years later, and they were still 15% less susceptible to death. Interesting, right? A little scary, right? Eye-opening. I share that with you because when you begin to live authentically, you will live healthy, you will live well, you will live happy. You see, when you choose to live authentically, then you begin to fill your cup. You fill your cup with the things that add to your health, that add to your wellness, that add to your happiness. And that gives you more energy and love. And eventually your cup will be full so you can pour into yourself and eventually pour into the lives of others, ultimately giving back to the world. So before I started to live an authentic life, I told you that I tried to rationalize it, right? But it got to the point where my body could not rationalize it. My intuition was telling me this is not right for you. Your body will start to show physical signs of health that is deteriorating, of negativity. Your body will not be well. So a couple things that started to happen to me when I was not living in my purpose is I started to gray super early and super fast. Believe me, it was definitely related to the stress that I was experiencing because I wasn't doing what I was meant to do with my life. I also started to develop this really awful eye twitch to the point where I went to the doctor and the doctor said, this is because of stress. So I said, okay. I also started to get very high blood pressure. I had to get on blood pressure medication. This was all within the year of me starting that job that I wanted so bad. And when we experience stress, some people lose weight, some people gain weight, just depends on your body type. I have the body type where I gained weight. I gained 20 pounds within a year. So my body was screaming to me, Lizeth, you are not living well. When I made the change and I started to live authentically and in my purpose, now I'm able to fill my cup with the things that make me happy and that help me to add to my health and my wellness. We are all here today for a yoga event, right? Because we all want to be centered and whole and take advantage of all the things that yoga gives us, right? Yoga helps to improve our health and wellness. But it's more than just an event. Being healthy and being well is more than just a one-time yoga event. You have to choose to live well and healthy and happy every single day of your life. The next thing that you will experience other than health and wellness and happiness is abundance. So I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about abundance, opportunities, doors opening for you, happiness on a level that you can't even describe, a sense of fulfillment. That's what abundance is. Remember, I said that each one of us was given a gift or a talent. And if you don't use it, you will lose it. Now, it is up to you to figure out what that talent is. Now, I gave you a questionnaire to start getting your mind thinking, but some things to consider, 2 things to consider. Message. The first thing to consider is, what are your talents? How do you know what your talents are? Well, your talents are those things that you know that you do innately well or that other people see in you. When they say, man, girl, you did such a good job today. And it's like, me? Really? Yes, that is your talent. You have to know what your talent is, and it's not about being cocky or thinking that you're the best. Remember, this was a gift that was given to you for you to experience in life. So that's how you can start to try to figure out what your talent is, what your gift is. The next thing that I want you to figure out is pay attention to how you feel energetically before and after tasks. If you get up during the day and you dread doing whatever it is that you are going to do that day, or after you spend the day doing that task or that duty and you feel energetically drained, remember, when you're not living authentically, your cup is depleted. You have a lack of energy. Then those are probably the things that you need to remove from your life or do less of, okay? On the opposite end, pay attention to the things that increase your energy, then increase your happiness. If you wake up during the day and you're like, oh my God, I get to go to sunset yoga today, and you look forward to it, and after you do it, you feel so energized and you feel so happy. Those are probably the things that you need to do more of in your life. So that's how you start to be in tune with yourself and your intuition to figure it out what it is that you are supposed to do. I want to encourage you guys to really start to live in abundance. And the only way that you're going to do that is if you begin to live an authentic life. Something else that will happen when you start to live authentically is that you are going to realize and start to see the people that are meant for you and the people that aren't. The people that are meant for you are going to be supportive of your talents, your gifts, your purpose. And those are the people that are going to open up doors of opportunity for you and that are going to walk the path with you. And those people that are not meant for you are going to leave your life because they're not supportive of the changes that you're making, or you're going to say goodbye. And that's okay because it's all helping you to live authentically. So at this time, I want to give you guys a challenge. As I wrap up this talk, I want you to start thinking what your purpose is. And on that sheet of paper, write it down. And if you're not sure, write it down anyways. And just start writing down ideas. Because I'm a huge believer in manifestation. Whatever you think is what you will speak, and what you speak is what you will do. And those will become your actions and how you live your life. And I also want to challenge you to promise yourself one thing that you will do today to start living an authentic life. And tell someone that you love, because you know that person is going to support your authentic self and your purpose in life. I want to thank you for opening your hearts and your minds to this message, and I pray that you will start living an authentic life so you can experience more health, more wellness, more happiness, and more abundance. Thank you.
All right, are you guys ready for meditation?